Hey gods and goddesses, August 23rd brings a new moon at 0 degrees in Virgo, and just 29 days later, a solar eclipse at 29 degrees Virgo slams the chapter shut. This is a rare beginning and ending of a karmic story in just 1 month. Let's talk about why this new moon is the key to it all. So we can view this new moon as a initial spark. The 0 degree of any sign is the moment of birth. This is the purest, most unfiltered expression of that sign's essence. When it's in Virgo, it talks about purification, healing, organization, discernment, and this devotion to what is sacred in daily life. It's not just about this fresh start. 0 degrees is about a fresh breath, of this Virgo energy and unshaped by previous cycles. And this is energy that is like, it's brimming with potential. We know that in 2025, or currently, the South Node and the North Node are in Pisces, and the South Node, though the North Node is in Pisces, and the South Node is in Virgo. And the Virgo themes are, cleansing away this karmic residue, releasing these old systems, these old skills, these old habits, and the ways of being that have been overdeveloped or even can be seen as rigid. And the new moon is this recognition moment. It's the first time that this lunar cycle is in the sign of Virgo on the south node, and this lights up patterns for you that have to do with overanalyzation, perfectionism, controlling yourself over details, and this work and service habit that drains the ability to serve, and at this point, it's just like the universe is saying, please look closely to what you are ready to surrender. And because this is, this is pretty rare because, it goes from zero, new moon in Virgo, all the way to 29 degree to a solar eclipse. This is like a very clear sign or profound sign of activation, the birth and the beginning, and also completion and closure. And 29 degrees is a very critical degree. Don't forget, I'm going to be making a video about the solar eclipse, so please go and watch it because that's very, very important. And that's going to be happening 29 days later, as I keep saying, on September 21st. But this new moon is seriously an experience of the it's the start of an experience of the entire like Virgo arc. This is the first step to a final lesson, but a very fast one. This is these compressed forces that are rapid, rapid growth. They're asking for these decisive endings, and there's this sense of urgency, unfinished business and must be handled. You know what I'm saying? And it becomes amplified, and you don't just decide to change your life. It's like your life is going to align to these circumstances, so you must change or you must adjust. And this new moon is like this portal, it's this gateway into eclipse season. Eclipse season is very crucial. It's a crucial time in our life, and for 6 months, even, up to 6 months after that, this is what sets the tone for what's going to be revealed. And these things are going to be revealed very quickly, processed very quickly, and ultimately released by 6 months after or before the eclipse. These are events that carry very high emotions, and they ripple down into our life, into our daily activity. We're talking about Virgo, and, what begins here, it doesn't fade away. It turns this faded, turning point into where we must, go in our life next. Virgo is this sacred vessel, and this is a container in which like our spirit, is ready to be born. It's about tending to the details of life with this, with this desire to grow, with this desire to create healthy environments, healthy boundaries, and The 0 to 29 degree in a single cycle, just 29 days. Virgo's lessons, they unfold at this lightning speed. 0 degrees Virgo is this of awareness. This is what's pure. This is what you value in life, and maybe let's say 15 days after, even 3 months after, you start to feel like you understand what belongs and what doesn't. And it's going to be sorting through through details and things that you didn't know. You could have known, but it happened so fast that there's no going back. And when we hit eclipse season, or hit, sometime in September, even 6 months after that, you have this offer to release what no longer serves this higher order, or this higher order that you belong to. And this is not quiet planting of seeds. It's really a soul alignment, especially around eclipse season. And this new moon is the beginning of Virgo, so it's this most innocent and this most intentional form. And you end with Virgo in the most complete and wisdom bearing form. And because this is a solar eclipse, this really awakens this rapid and inevitable change within you and your life's journey. And this is a journey that is compressed within 1 month, but so important to this, this very intentional point in your life. And the moment that your soul starts to prepare for this karmic release, this is where this process reaches its like natural conclusion. And this chapter ends for good. And it's like stepping onto or into a sacred path where you're walking its entire length within a couple of weeks. And you're arriving at a doorway to where you can never look back, and where you can never step back through. So one door closes and many other doors open, but you can never go back through the same door that you were just in. So brace yourself. What's up, Aries? So this new moon is awakening your daily rituals, your body's rhythms, and the way that you serve both yourself and others. Virgo here is going to strip away your illusions, asking you to see your habits without judgment, but with precision. It's not about perfection, Aries. It's about this conscious refinement. When you choose the right inputs, as far as nutrition, as far as thoughts, patterns, mental formulas, boundaries, even the people that you surround yourself with, even the work that you decide to do, surrounding yourself with actual sacred service and sacred duty, this input naturally aligns well. And you start to feel, what we call like cleansing or reorganization. And this helps you recommit to purpose, this purpose that demands your consistency over glory. Aries, what in your daily life truly sustains you? Or what is simply just filling space? What's up, Taurus? This lunation is shining its Virgo light, or its Virgo essence, on your self expression within your fifth house of creativity, of romantic life and pursuits and children. The desire to create something pure and meaningful will outweigh the urge to entertain or to distract yourself, Taurus. When it comes to the fifth house, it talks about pleasure, play, and I think that your joy becomes more sacred, and it's infused with this intentionality and this precise development. Your heart is craving, a more refined sense of love and joy, and more discerning type of pleasure. And when you are more honest in how you use your creative power, pleasure comes without feeling like it's coming from an empty space. Pleasure actually becomes purpose, and you will feel less empty. So Taurus, it's about, are you trying to impress, or are you trying to express your truest self? What's up, Gemini? Gemini, this new moon in your fourth house is planting seeds in your home, in your family, in your roots, in your emotional security. And Virgo in the fourth asks you to tend to your emotional soil, especially the ones that you have outgrown. This is clearing away weeds of resentment, roots of abandonment, and rearranging spaces in order to breed and create where there has been chaos. This is private work, that really sustains something, and it really stabilizes everything in your life, because the details matter now. The conversations that you've had behind closed doors, they matter, especially the boundaries that you set with your loved ones. This is the way that you protect your sanity. And this is the way that you protect, what goes on around you, even your emotional body. And you have to ask yourself, does your home drain you or does it nourish you? What's up, Cancer? So, Cancer, this new moon in your third house calls you to purify your words, sharpen your thinking, your habits, your skills, and being precise about your conversations and about where you let your mind wander. Virgo in the third house, it isn't just about talking more. It's about saying exactly what matters, what needs to be said, and saying it well. The smallest exchanges in mental, our mental processing and conversations that we have, this for you, Cancer, can be turning points in your life now. Your mental environment needs decluttering. Maybe it's too noisy and you need to start speaking your truth. Um, think about what you watch, what you consume, what you believe, what you spread when you speak. And ask yourself, do your words heal, or are they coming from a place of your scattered energy? What's up, Leo? The Virgo new moon is landing in your second house of self worth, values, and resources. And what are you valuing? And are you living according to what you truly value? This is stripping away what is flashy, but hollow, even, and rooting into what's sustainable and more aligned in your sacred values. Your financial world can feel cleaner, by clearing away these systems and being more intentional about where you're spending, where you're saving, and your self-worth actually rises because of this. And not because you're questioning or you're thinking about how much you have or how much you own. This is from aligning with your inner values and your outer actions. You want to ask yourself, are you honoring your worth in a way that you earn, spend, and you receive? What's up, Virgo? This is your personal new moon, right? This is putting yourself in focus. This is the moon, K2 in your sign, and also having a solar eclipse just 29 days later. This is a rare and pure rebirth moment for you, Virgo. You have to understand your archetype as the Virgo. Its purest form, and it's time for you to be that pure form and strip away what false layers you have instilled on your identity, even your personal development, your body, stripping away these layers of falseness, of falsehood, so that you can meet yourself with clarity. And it's time to edit your own life story and to remove the sentences, or to remove the stories, and to remove all of these so-called statements that no longer serve the plot, that no longer serve the climax, that no longer serve your whole journey. This is where you need to make changes. And it's not just about your appearance. Of course, your appearance can change, your attitude is definitely going to change, but your health, it will start to ripple, into your health over in the next months to come. So be very intentional. Remember that you are a working process. You are on a journey, Virgo. And that is the beauty of you and of life. And Virgo has a very beautiful archetype. And you just want to ask yourself, if you were to meet yourself for the first time today, what will you see? Who will you want to be? And who are you becoming? What's up, Libra? Libra, this is a new moon in your 12th house. And Virgo here, working on the unseen, or a new moon working in the unseen realms of the 12th house. This is your subconscious pattern. This is your spiritual health, and also can be seen as your private life, what you like to do alone. And this is a lunation that asks you to cleanse behind the scenes. And before you step out into the light, you must shed these old habits of self-sabotage, of self, trying to control yourself or trying to contain yourself in a certain way. And the steps that you take, or what you have tried to control for so long, it's definitely going to show itself now. It's going to be more clear, and you're going to have a chance to solve, these controlling patterns that you have over yourself, your private life. And it's time for you to rest, even your rest, your dream world, your intuition, they become these fertile grounds for insight. You definitely want to meditate and make space for silence, Libra. It's where you are going to find these purest answers, and they're going to surface, and they're going to remind you of who you are and what you need to release. You are peeling away a lot of, tendencies around control and self-sabotage, and just putting these unrealistic patterns and even habits on yourself in order to get done and things of that nature. It's like you're holding on to these shadows, and you have to ask yourself why. And these shadows are ready to be released when you're ready to release them, Libra. You cannot hold on to what's in the past. The 12th house is the past, and that's why they're unrealistic. So ask yourself, are you still holding on to shadows that are ready to be released, and can you release them? What's up, Scorpio? Scorpio, this is a new moon happening in your 11th house, and this is bringing a spotlight to your long-term goals and, the vision of your future and your sense of belonging. Virgo, the new moon is activating your false allies, even these scattered dreams that you have on helping the world, and it's now wanting you to help your focus, on what truly fits the vision. It's giving you it's refreshing, right? This is a refreshing type of energy. You don't even get a new path. You get the path that is actually aligned to, people that align with your vision. And also these people that you align with now, they should reflect your integrity of the path that you want to walk down. You're choosing these collaborations with care. This can be new people, because this is the start that you're having, that there's no looking back. There's a precision in these partnerships or these people that you meet that will matter more than, just being popular or just being around people who say they have this vision, but we don't, you don't know they actually have that vision. Because when you have the vision, you actually are in pursuit of it, so you have to ask yourself, are your connections helping refine your vision, or are they blurring it? What's up, Sagittarius? This new moon is happening in your 10th house of legacy, of life path, of duty and honor. And the Virgo new moon is asking for excitement over expectations, or over these, spectacles, because your next chapter is about success, and it probably won't be built overnight, but it will be thought out. This will be something that has, that's born through discipline, is born through these intentional steps, and you will feel called to redefine your role in the world, because you're taking on the responsibility that actually sharpens your skills, actually makes you better, and promotes this growth within you. The key here is refinement, and starting to cut away the tasks that just look good, and doing things that other people think that you should do. It's time for you to, eliminate what doesn't serve your greatest mission, and ask yourself, are you building legacy, or are you chasing recognition? What's up, Capricorn? Capricorn, Virgo is activating your ninth house of philosophy. And so the approach here is going to be precision through your philosophy. Virgo new moon is going to demand that your beliefs and your philosophies not only inspire you, but they actually work. And this is a time to study, to preach, to teach, to travel with intention and redefine your view on the world that have to do with both truthful and practicality. You want to bring down these philosophies into the real world, and these ideas that cannot be lived, they're just going to fall away. It's going to loosen its grip on you. And you may feel drawn to mentorship, publishing, even pursuing some type of new way of learning, a learning path that actually sharpens your perspective. And you want to ask yourself, are your beliefs something that you live by or just something that you say? What's up, Aquarius? Aquarius, this new moon in your eighth house in Virgo is asking for or demanding for you to look at your intimacy and cleansing these depths, of transformation when it comes to, your shared resources, and asking you to face these very deep truths. And Virgo the Virgo new moon in your eighth house actually demands a clean break from toxic people, sexual experiences, attachments, finances, these emotional loops or karmic loops that you find yourself in. And it's asking you to heal now. And this healing relies in this very strategic way, because this is asking you to be honest about where you have given your power away. And that takes time and paying attention to detail, paying attention to your patterns and what you are doing repeatedly. This is a house of like a karmic loop, and you truly have to dig deep. And you're restructuring your debts, you're restructuring, your bonds, you're no no, what is it restructuring, or like what is that word, like negotiating. Yeah, so renegotiating your where you put your energetics, like where you are energetically putting your time, your worth, even your sexual experiences, even your emotions. What are you pouring yourself into? And it's clearing away and decluttering a lot for you so you can reclaim yourself fully. You really have to ask yourself this, Aquarius: are you ready to let go and fully let go so that you can step into your sovereignty, into who you are, and start understanding the truth of who you are? What's up, Pisces? This new moon is happening in your seventh house of other people, of your mirror, of relationships, exes and things of that nature, but most importantly, other people and partnerships. And this is asking you to refine your relationship when it comes to union. This is the house that's going to bring you clarity, precision when it comes to relationships that you're in, that you choose. Even when it comes to, your marriages, divorces, deciding amongst those things, because this is you setting these firmer boundaries when it comes to other people and renegotiating certain terms, and committing to this deeper sense of integrity. You're learning that harmony isn't about avoidance, but it's about this mutual respect and this cautious care. This is a fresh start, when it comes to love, like a true fresh start, not looking back anymore, Pisces, because these people and partnerships that come into your life, you want to approach them with dignity, right? You want to approach them with integrity, and you want to approach them with having this sense of harmony, but not forgetting who you are. And even when it comes to collaborating with others or business partnerships, if you're not in a unionship, you want to approach this with a sense of yourself. You want to show up as yourself. We know that the North Node is in your sign, and K2 is in your seventh house right now. So this has to do with letting go of these karmic partnerships, from past lives. And this is closing the chapter on that. And you have to ask yourself, are you showing up in partnerships as the person that you actually want to be?